All right. Hi, Gemini. Welcome to the Sunflower Path. My name is Jess, and we're going to be looking at Mercury retrograde that begins in Sagittarius on November 9th and ends on November 29th in Scorpio. By November 18th, it'll transition into Scorpio. So it'll go through your seventh house first, which is your relationships, legal contracts, business partnerships, and then it'll transition into your sixth house once it's in Scorpio, which is your health, your daily routine, any work services that you provide to others. We look at Mercury retrograde because it kind of forces us to reassess any of the things that we are involved in, things that I listed in the seventh and sixth house. There could be false starts, shakeups in our foundations, and exes or old friends may return. Because we are already in the period of pre-retrograde, you may have noticed that some odd things are happening in our communication or travel and technology. And because it's also happening during the American holidays, I think it's Thanksgiving. Just be aware of any awkward or heated debates. Plan for unexpected delays if you're traveling. And it's not the best time for contracts. Contracts made during Mercury retrograde are often regrets once the retrograde is over. So I will take a look at what you need to revisit, what needs to be released, what are some unknown factors that you need to be aware of, what precautions can you take, what needs rest, and what will keep you in balance. I will also pull out any oracle cards if they have any additional messages. All right, going to this Gemini, we need to revisit Mercury retrograde. What needs to be released? Huh? Something fun. Huh? Apparently they have a lot to say. There we go. What are some unknown factors that you need to be aware of? Okay, so I'll just focus on these cards so far. So what you need to revisit, what needs to be released, and what are some unknown factors. So what needs to be revisited? So this could be any creative ideas that you just invented beforehand. You might have to re-evaluate what kind of ideas you had prior to this Mercury retrograde to see if any of them need to be reassessed, if it can be improved upon, and if this is not a creative idea, then it might be anywhere that needs nurturance. Um, hmm. This is usually a card of motherhood, but not everyone is a mother. So I'm just wondering, maybe you're a mother figure to a group. Some people are like the mother hens of their friendship group. Um, any like deep supportive relationships may need to be revisited, or if there was like a period of growth and then all of a sudden it stopped. Because this is usually like a period of where ideas are growing and being brought to life, and it brings about like wealth and generosity and material comfort. So maybe these are things that are coming up, especially in your relationships with others, since it's going to be going through your seventh house first. Maybe you need some reassurance or nurturing from other people. Maybe you need to bring back a bit like a sensuality to your relationships. Could be a sign of communication then, because you've got lovers here. I find it interesting that your own card came up because lovers is associated with Gemini. Yeah, those are things that could be revisited, but what are some things to release is the Queen of Pentacles reversed. There could be boundaries perhaps that you haven't been reinforcing as of late. Because usually this is a card of nurturing as well. So you've got the Empress here, and queens are usually tied up with the Empress card. Maybe you've got a poverty mindset somewhere that needs to be released. Since it's what do you call it, a court card, I'm wondering if it's also a person who's bringing a lot of issues to you. Could be a woman or lady, but could be someone who um, has strong feminine energy. This is someone who might be selfish or shallow, wants what you have. Maybe you've been in a codependent relationship. And there might have been some work home conflict. So just release some of that tension. If it's a person, maybe take a step back away from this person. You need to find a calm and peaceful place within you. It could be a jealous partner if you're in a relationship, but it could be a business partner as well. Because some of the things that are unknown to you is a potential soulmate stepping in. Love, but it's also like a sign of major life decisions that you may have to make. But it has to be in alignment with your values, with your beliefs. It's a strong relationship, though. Just be aware that whatever action you take, it's going to have long lasting consequences. It might be a new romance. Maybe some of you are finding romance in the work environment since it's going from 7th house to 6th house. All right, so what are some precautions you can take? It got so much darker because the sun has not gone down per se, but it's daylight savings time, so we lost an hour. What needs rest? Does Gemini need to rest or put to rest? Knight of Pentacles. And what will keep you in balance? Ooh. Not one too many. What will keep you in balance? Oop. We've got 2 cards coming up here. Okay. So let's see. Actually, does that show on camera? Let me put that here since it came together. All right. What precautions to take is the Wheel of Fortune, and things to put to rest is the Knight of Pentacles. And what will help you keep in balance is the 5 of Cups with Judgment there. Sorry, excuse me. There are new cycles coming up, new karmic ties, new soulmates. Since you've got soulmates here, this sometimes bring in changes and new people into your life. So I guess a precaution would be don't avoid any changes coming through. It might come rapidly as well. Life is going to become unpredictable, so just go with the flow. I think that's something Geminis tend to do pretty well with, though. Unless you've got some fixed signs in your chart. I don't think I see. Well, yeah. Well, fixed signs are usually on the Wheel of Fortune. So perhaps find your center while these changes are going. Like, make sure you have like a sense of inner peace. And that's a precaution to take, is just be aware of all the changes, of all the chaos. Don't get swept away with them. You can embrace the change, because change can also bring a lot of excitement. But if you begin to fight against it, it might bring a lot of tension. So only take control of what you can, not like external factors, but anything inwards. I feel like you're entering a new cycle of life when this Mercury retrograde happens. Maybe some of you are getting married. I know October, not so much November, but October is usually a big wedding season, including, I I think with the additional of the month of May, a lot of people get married in those months. So maybe some of you are getting married. If not married, it might be entering a new job, a new field, since it's going to be going through your 7th house into your 6th house. And 6th house is the workplace. I'd also be aware of any changes in your health, because with stress, that can really impact your physical well-being as well. And since the next card is the Knight of Pentacles as what needs to be put to rest, maybe lately you've been slowly but surely working towards your goal. You've probably been that stable friend for a lot of other people. So it's time to take a break. Take a break from moving towards goals, or towards something. Might be saying move towards something a bit more stable. If there's going to be a lot of changes and what's coming to rest, it might be with all that unpredictability. Stability is something that you're looking forward to. And that new job or marriage might bring that. Might also be saying just to move slow. Because if you can see, this is an earth dragon, and earth elements usually proceed very, very slowly. They get to what they want, but they do it in a slower way. You might have just earned yourself a break to recharge and prepare for that next phase of work or that next cycle of life that you're entering. You may have just gotten the news that you're pregnant, or maybe you'll become pregnant over the holiday season. Not saying that you will, but I got to mention that for some of you because the Empress is motherhood. So if you're not looking to become pregnant and protect yourself, but this is an earned and deserved rest period that will prepare you for the new cycles that are coming through. So just take a break during the holiday season. And what will keep you in balance with the 5 of Cups here and Judgment. 5 of Cups is usually about grief and loss. So maybe you are grieving a period of loss because new cycles, they may not always end gently. But it's necessary change. So grieve the part that maybe, like what's coming to mind is if you are someone who is pregnant, and this is just an example, so it may not apply to everyone, but if you are someone pregnant, you may be grieving a cycle of life, like the person you were before you become pregnant, and then realize the person you are becoming and who you need to become as a parent. That can also be applied to work. So if you're entering a new job field, you may have to release the work experience or work fields that you were previously in to become this new person, because you're answering a higher calling, a higher purpose. It's a profound change after a disappointment or loss. Maybe some of you needed to forgive yourself as well, because this is usually a message of forgiveness, and maybe you need to forgive yourself for grieving. Give yourself more grace as you move forward. But the karmic lessons that you've learned in previous cycles, because both cards are about karma, they've been learned. You've learned your, as harsh as it may sound, you've learned your lesson and you're ready to move on to the next phase of life. Yeah. I'm going to bring out the other oracle cards just to see what else I can include for you. I am not surprised that this is getting slightly darker. Granted, I already mentioned that with daylight saving times, it's just getting darker sooner. But it feels like you've gone through a period of life that was also dark. I'll get to that in a moment because I also want to bring out your other oracle card. Nope, these are so hard to shuffle. They're so much bigger than my hands. So I have to do them sideways. All right. We have two of them that came out. So I'll read both. No, you're in the way. I'll put you here. Oh, I didn't realize this was in the way. Oh, all right. You've got control. Link your own constellations and take control. Maybe you went through a period of time where in that previous cycle you felt like you were losing control and now you're regaining that. You have gratitude and generosity. Are there any repeating numbers? We have 3, 6, 5, knight, 10. I think that's 20. Yeah. Gratitude and generosity. Well, that at least will make it easier for me to look for things. All right, gratitude is one of the most potent emotions humans possess. This card is urging you to stop and be deeply thankful for everything in your life. Acknowledge the people, things, experiences, and emotions you encounter daily. All of these happen for you and not to you. The more joyful acceptance you show toward the positive things in your world, the more positive things you will see and experience. The more thankful you are for your experiences, the more the universe will grace you in return. Be grateful for who you are and what you have. Once you see the greatness of your life, you can begin to focus on it and it will multiply. So, a question to ask for yourself is, how can I show that gratitude as often as possible, and what am I grateful for? And then that's gratitude, generosity. Living generously and helping others can give you a sense of purpose and lead to a longer, healthier life. That might be tied into your 6th house as well. Be giving with yourself first. Find little things that will lift not only your mood but your soul. This card may be making an appearance because you've been so wrapped up in the day-to-day grind that you have forgotten to take care of yourself. Commit to doing something that makes you happy every day. This is not about indulging every whim, but doing a few small things that make you feel good without taking anything from others. Once you are giving yourself joy, you can begin sharing it with others. Be altruistic with your money, your possessions, or your time. The more you give, the more you have to give. The more you have to give. That's an interesting way to put it. So, how can I be more generous with myself and others, and what do I have to offer? With that said, though, I would recommend being generous with yourself first, um, seeing as you're entering a new cycle, and that might take some time to adjust. But be thankful for the things that um, have come into your life. I know Thanksgiving is a period of being grateful or thankful, rather, um, for the lessons and for the family and friends who surround you. But that's all I have for you, Gemini. I hope this resonated. If you did resonate with it, please like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you take care. See you next time.